The rumble of engines and the smell of oil filled the air inside the expansive garage nestled on the outskirts of the city. This wasn't just any garage, it was one of 8 owned by Maxwell Industries, a sprawling automotive empire helmed by the enigmatic CEO, David Maxwell. Yet today, David wasn't in his usual tailored suit or sleek office. Instead, he was dressed down, his features partially obscured by a baseball cap and worn jacket. David had decided to experience the heartbeat of his company firsthand by going undercover, immersing himself in the everyday lives of the people who kept his empire running. Among the mechanics, technicians, and apprentices, one figure caught his eye, a black woman named Tasha, known for her remarkable skill and fearless mastery over the most dangerous tools. Tasha moved with purpose and precision, handling a heavy pneumatic wrench that hissed with power. Sparks flew as she worked on a rusted engine block, the intense concentration etched on her face telling a story of dedication and resilience. David watched quietly, fascinated by her expertise and the respect she commanded from her peers. Here was someone who had earned her place not through privilege but through skill and grit. As the day unfolded, David witnessed moments of camaraderie, frustration, and triumph, the realities of a working garage rarely seen from his corner office. But it was Tasha's story, the black mechanic wielding dangerous tools with confidence, that would leave an indelible mark on him and challenge his perceptions forever. As David continued to observe from the shadows, he saw Tasha expertly diagnose a complex engine issue that had stumped several mechanics earlier in the day. Without hesitation, she lifted a heavy wrench, her movements fluid and controlled, even as the machine's worn parts threatened to give way under pressure. Her colleagues watched with admiration and trust, many seeking her advice or simply learning by watching her work. Despite the high-stakes environment, where one wrong move with these dangerous tools could lead to serious injury, Tasha remained calm, meticulous, and confident. David was struck not only by her skill but by the quiet authority she commanded. In a male-dominated field, she had earned respect through relentless dedication, breaking down stereotypes and barriers one task at a time. Later, during a break, David decided to introduce himself, but still kept his disguise. He approached Tasha, extending a hand and asking about her journey. Tasha was straightforward, proud of her work and the path she had carved out despite the challenges. She spoke about early doubts she faced, people who underestimated her because of her race and gender, but how she had refused to let those biases define her. David listened intently, humbled by her story. Behind the cover of his disguise, he realized that Tasha embodied the very spirit of his company's potential, the untapped talent and resilience that often went unnoticed. That day would mark a turning point for David Maxwell, igniting a commitment to champion diversity and invest more deeply in the people who made his empire thrive. Over the following weeks, David kept returning to the garages, always in disguise, observing and learning. Each visit brought new insights, not only about the mechanics and their craft, but about the culture within his own company. He noticed how Tasha inspired those around her, how her presence challenged preconceived notions and pushed boundaries. New hires looked to her as a role model, and even the most experienced workers sought her counsel on tough problems. One afternoon, a critical situation arose. A vintage car slated for a high-profile auction broke down just days before the event. The repair required precision and nerves of steel, as any damage could cost millions. While others hesitated, Tasha stepped forward confidently. She donned her safety goggles and began dismantling the engine, wielding her tools with the care and expertise that had become her signature. David watched, impressed by her leadership and problem-solving skills under pressure. When the car roared back to life, the room erupted in applause, and Tasha's teammates celebrated their success. David realized that this moment symbolized more than a repair. It was a testament to the power of opportunity and belief in talent regardless of background. Determined to make lasting changes, he scheduled meetings with his executive team to discuss strategies for fostering inclusivity and recognizing hidden talents within the workforce. Tasha's example became a catalyst, a living proof that greatness often comes from the most unexpected places. And for David Maxwell, it was a lesson he vowed never to forget. David's decision to embrace change rippled quickly through Maxwell Industries. Inspired by what he had witnessed firsthand, he launched initiatives aimed at creating more inclusive hiring practices and professional development programs. Tasha was asked to participate in shaping these efforts, bringing her unique perspective as both a skilled mechanic and someone who had faced obstacles due to race and gender. Her voice was instrumental in crafting mentorship programs designed to support women and minorities in the trades. The company began hosting workshops focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion, encouraging open dialogue among employees at all levels. It was a cultural shift, one that required patience, honesty, and commitment from everyone involved. Meanwhile, Tasha's role expanded beyond the garage floor. She took on leadership positions, training new recruits and advocating for safe working conditions. Her expertise and passion made her a respected figure within the company and the community. David observed these developments with pride and humility. He recognized that true leadership meant not only overseeing profits but nurturing people, unlocking their potential and breaking down barriers. The relationship between CEO and mechanic evolved into a partnership grounded in mutual respect and shared purpose. Together, they began to reshape the future of Maxwell Industries, not just as a business but as a force for social progress. Their journey demonstrated that sometimes, the most powerful transformations come from simply seeing and valuing people for who they truly are. With the foundation of a more inclusive workplace taking shape, Maxwell Industries began attracting a more diverse workforce. Candidates who had previously felt overlooked now saw the company as a place where their talents would be recognized and nurtured. Tasha's mentorship program flourished. Young women, especially Black women, found a safe space to learn, grow, and thrive in a field traditionally dominated by men. Her workshops were filled with eager apprentices ready to tackle challenges head-on, inspired by her example. One day, during a company-wide meeting, David publicly acknowledged Tasha's contributions not only as a mechanic but as a leader and advocate. He spoke about the lessons he learned from her, admitting that his initial perceptions had been limited by his own biases. Tasha accepted the recognition with grace, emphasizing that true progress requires collective effort. She challenged everyone present to examine their assumptions and commit to fostering an environment of respect and opportunity. The company's culture visibly shifted. Collaboration increased, ideas flowed more freely, and productivity soared. Employees reported greater job satisfaction, and turnover rates decreased. David and Tasha's partnership became a case study in leadership and diversity, drawing attention from industry leaders and social justice advocates alike. Their story proved that when talent is recognized and nurtured, when barriers are dismantled, the results can be transformative for individuals, companies, and communities. And through it all, the ring on Tasha's finger continued to symbolize commitment, not just to her husband, but to the values that guided her life and work. The ripple effect of Maxwell Industries' transformation extended far beyond the walls of its garages. Other companies began to take notice, eager to replicate the successes brought about by embracing diversity and inclusion. Tasha was invited to speak at industry conferences, sharing her journey and insights on breaking barriers in the trades. Her story resonated with audiences nationwide, inspiring others to challenge their own biases and advocate for change. David supported these efforts wholeheartedly, leveraging his influence to promote inclusive practices across the business community. He became a vocal proponent of equity in hiring and career development, emphasizing that true innovation thrives on diverse perspectives. Back at the garages, new training programs incorporated lessons on cultural competency, safety, and leadership. The atmosphere shifted from one of competition to collaboration as employees united around shared goals. The ring on Tasha's finger, once a quiet symbol of personal commitment, had become emblematic of a broader promise, a promise to uplift, empower, and break down walls. Together, Tasha and David continued to push boundaries, embodying the power of partnership and the potential unlocked when people are seen and valued for who they truly are. Their journey was a beacon, lighting the way for a future where talent and dedication, not background or stereotype, determined one's success. And as their story spread, it inspired countless others to believe in the transformative power of respect and opportunity. The cultural shifts within Maxwell Industries sparked new energy and innovation. Projects that once seemed stalled due to lack of collaboration now moved forward with enthusiasm and fresh ideas. Diverse teams brought unique perspectives that enriched problem-solving and product development. Tasha's leadership grew stronger. She became a mentor not only for mechanics but also for aspiring leaders throughout the company. Her ability to connect with people, understand their challenges, and inspire confidence made her a pillar of the organization. Alexander, a young apprentice who once struggled with confidence, credited Tasha's guidance for his transformation. "She saw something in me I didn't see myself," he shared at a company event. David was proud to see the tangible results of their commitment: improved morale, increased productivity, and a workplace culture where every voice mattered. He often reflected on the day he went undercover in his own garage and met Tasha, realizing how much he had learned from her. Beyond the company, community engagement deepened. Maxwell Industries sponsored scholarships, vocational training, and local events celebrating diversity in trades. Tasha and David attended community forums, listening and learning as much as leading. Their story was a testament to how trust, respect, and opportunity could transform not only individuals but entire organizations and communities. And through it all, the ring on Tasha's finger remained a steady symbol of the journey of breaking barriers, forging connections, and building a legacy rooted in courage and commitment. As word of the transformation at Maxwell Industries spread, other businesses sought advice on how to replicate their success. Jasmine and David began hosting workshops, sharing their experiences and strategies for fostering inclusive work environments. These sessions emphasized the importance of listening to employees' stories, recognizing hidden talents, and actively dismantling systemic barriers. Jasmine often spoke about her journey, not just as a mechanic, but as a woman who had fought for respect in a male-dominated industry. David highlighted the business case for diversity, explaining how embracing varied perspectives led to innovation and growth. Together, they demonstrated that social responsibility and profitability could go hand in hand. Back at the garages, apprentices who once doubted their abilities now flourished under Jasmine's mentorship. Their confidence grew, and so did their skills. Many went on to lead teams and inspire others. The ring on Jasmine's finger symbolized more than her personal commitment. It represented a promise to future generations that they too could break through barriers and achieve greatness. Community leaders praised their work, noting how Maxwell Industries had become a model for corporate social responsibility. Local schools incorporated stories like Jasmine's into their curricula, teaching students about perseverance, equity, and the power of determination. Despite the accolades and growing influence, Jasmine and David remained humble, focused on the mission ahead. They knew that real change required continued effort and that their story was just one thread in a larger tapestry of progress. And as they looked toward the future, they carried with them the hope that every person would someday be valued for their true potential. The foundation built through their efforts began to fund scholarships aimed at young people from underserved communities, providing resources to those aspiring to careers in mechanics, engineering, and technology. Jasmine often visited schools to talk about her journey, encouraging students to pursue their passions regardless of societal expectations. She became a role model for many, a living testament to what dedication and support could accomplish. David's companies adopted inclusive policies, ensuring recruitment and advancement were based on merit and potential, not background or appearance. He established a diversity council to oversee ongoing efforts and address challenges proactively. Together, they organized community events celebrating culture, achievement, and unity, bridging gaps and building trust. Their personal story became a symbol of transformation, proof that breaking down barriers creates pathways to success for all. The ring on Jasmine's finger continued to shine, a reminder of love, strength, and the commitment to a better future. Despite progress, challenges persisted. Systemic inequality required ongoing vigilance and action. But with every young person inspired, every life uplifted, their journey forged a legacy of hope and possibility. And through it all, they walked forward, partners in change, united by purpose and heart. As Maxwell Industries' reputation for inclusivity grew, they attracted talent from diverse backgrounds, infusing fresh energy into the company. The innovation born from this diversity fueled new projects, expanding their market reach and solidifying their leadership in the industry. Jasmine's mentorship program evolved into a formal academy, training the next generation of skilled tradespeople with a curriculum combining technical expertise and leadership development. Graduates found rewarding careers, many becoming mentors themselves. David spearheaded partnerships with nonprofit organizations, creating pathways for economically disadvantaged youth to access education and apprenticeships. Their collaborative approach fostered a sense of community ownership over the company's mission. At company headquarters, diversity and inclusion were embedded into the core values, reflected in hiring practices, workplace culture, and corporate philanthropy. Jasmine and David served on advisory boards, guiding policies that ensured ongoing progress. The ring on Jasmine's finger symbolized the journey from personal triumph to collective empowerment. It was a quiet emblem of the possibilities unlocked when barriers are broken. Together, they celebrated milestones, not as endpoints, but as stepping stones toward a more equitable future. Their story inspired others to act, to challenge assumptions, and to believe in the transformative power of respect and opportunity. In the heart of a changing city, two people from different worlds united by chance showed what was possible when courage meets compassion. And as they looked to the horizon, their shared vision burned bright, a future where everyone's talents could shine freely. The impact of Maxwell Industries' transformation extended beyond the walls of their garages and offices. Local governments took notice, inviting Jasmine and David to consult on workforce development and economic inclusion programs. Their expertise helped shape policies promoting equitable access to training and employment, addressing systemic barriers that had long hindered marginalized communities. Schools integrated hands-on learning opportunities connected to local businesses, inspired by the success of Jasmine's mentorship and the Foundation's outreach efforts. Students who once doubted their potential found new confidence and direction. Community leaders credited the partnership between Jasmine and David with revitalizing neighborhoods, fostering pride, and creating pathways out of poverty through skill building and opportunity. Despite the challenges that remained, their story became a beacon of hope, showing that change is possible when leaders listen, learn, and act with intention. The ring on Jasmine's finger, once a symbol of personal commitment, had come to represent a broader promise to uplift and empower others. Together, Jasmine and David continued to push boundaries, their partnership a testament to the power of seeing beyond stereotypes and investing in human potential. Their journey was far from over, but each step forward laid a stronger foundation for generations to come. And as the community flourished, their legacy lived on, a reminder that every act of kindness and courage can spark a movement. As the foundation matured, its programs expanded to include scholarships, internships, and leadership training for young adults eager to enter the automotive and tech industries. Jasmine was a constant presence, mentoring, teaching, and encouraging those who faced obstacles similar to the ones she had overcome. David took on a more active role in the community, advocating for policy changes at the city and state levels to support workforce diversity and inclusion. His business acumen and influence opened doors that had long been closed to marginalized groups. Together, they hosted annual summits bringing together industry leaders, educators, and activists to share best practices and forge partnerships. These events became incubators for ideas that would drive social and economic progress. Jasmine often reflected on her journey, from a determined young mechanic to a respected leader whose work touched thousands. The ring on her finger symbolized not only her personal commitments, but also the collective promises made to future generations. The story of Jasmine and David became a beacon, a narrative of resilience, partnership, and transformative change that inspired communities far beyond their own. Though challenges persisted, their combined efforts demonstrated that systemic barriers could be dismantled with dedication, empathy, and action. And as they continued to lead by example, their legacy grew stronger, lighting the path for others to follow. Jasmine and David's journey reached new heights as they launched a mentorship initiative focused on cultivating leadership skills among young professionals from underrepresented communities. The program paired mentors with seasoned industry experts, creating a pipeline of talent equipped to challenge and transform traditional workplace dynamics. The mentorship events buzzed with energy and possibility. Young women and men eager to break barriers found guidance and encouragement, learning not only technical skills, but also the confidence to claim their space in the industry. Jasmine's personal story resonated deeply, her resilience and authenticity inspiring many to persevere despite obstacles. David used his platform to advocate for systemic change, collaborating with policymakers to design equitable hiring and promotion frameworks. He championed transparency and accountability, recognizing that lasting reform required structural shifts alongside cultural evolution. Together, they emphasized the importance of community involvement, encouraging employees and leaders alike to engage beyond the workplace. Volunteer initiatives, educational outreach, and public forums became cornerstones of their approach, fostering connections and shared responsibility. Through it all, the ring on Jasmine's finger remained a steady symbol of their commitment to one another, to their community, and to a vision of justice and opportunity for all. Their partnership exemplified the profound impact that can arise when individuals unite purposefully to challenge norms and build inclusive futures. And as their story continued to unfold, it served as a powerful reminder that change begins with seeing each other's worth and investing in human potential. As their influence expanded, Jasmine and David began collaborating with educational institutions to create scholarship programs specifically for aspiring mechanics and engineers from marginalized backgrounds. These scholarships not only covered tuition but also provided mentorship, internships, and job placement support. The success stories that emerged from these programs were powerful testaments to what could be achieved when opportunity met talent. Students who once doubted their potential blossomed into confident professionals, many returning to their communities to inspire others. Jasmine often visited campuses, delivering talks that combined technical insight with personal narrative, breaking stereotypes and encouraging young people to pursue their passions unapologetically. David leveraged his corporate connections to secure funding and resources, while also advocating for policy reforms that would support equitable access to education and employment. Their foundation became a hub of innovation and empowerment, fostering collaborations that bridged gaps between industry, education, and community. Despite the progress, both remained vigilant. They understood that systemic change required ongoing commitment and that every victory was a step toward dismantling deep-rooted barriers. The ring on Jasmine's finger glimmered as a symbol, not just of love, but of enduring strength and shared purpose. Together, they stood as a testament to the transformative power of respect, opportunity, and partnership. And as the foundation's reach continued to grow, so did the hope for a future where everyone's talents could thrive free from prejudice. Years later, the city where Jasmine and David began their journey had changed in profound ways. The garages that once echoed with the clatter of tools now resonated with the voices of a diverse workforce, united by shared purpose and mutual respect. Community centers, once struggling for resources, thrived with programs inspired by the Foundation's model, programs that empowered youth, supported families, and nurtured dreams. Jasmine stood before a crowd gathered in the park where her story had first intersected with David's. The ring on her finger caught the sunlight, a beacon of the path she had walked, a path marked by perseverance, love, and relentless dedication. She spoke softly but with conviction, reminding everyone that the journey toward equity was ongoing, requiring courage from each generation. David joined her, sharing stories of transformation, hope, and the power of believing in one another. Together, they celebrated not only their successes but the countless individuals who had joined them along the way. Young mechanics, aspiring engineers, community leaders, each carrying the torch forward. As twilight settled, the crowd lit candles, their flames flickering in the evening breeze, a symbol of enduring hope and the light that kindness and courage could ignite. The ring on Jasmine's finger was no longer just a personal emblem. It had become a symbol of collective resilience and possibility. And as stars dotted the night sky, the promise of a more inclusive, compassionate future shone brightly, illuminated by the stories, struggles, and triumphs of those willing to see beyond difference and build bridges.